Hello, Sean here, aka Cleaver Slips. Welcome to my channel. We are in Gran Turismo Sport. In particular, we're in the first of the FIA Nations Cup Series races at Spa-Francorchamps, which happened this past Wednesday on New Year's Day. And I don't normally do anything like this, but I thought I would show it off a little bit because I want to talk to you about some things. As you can see, that was a time in practice. That was a 2-minute 32. Keep hold of that in your brain. The reason I'm saying this is because this is one of the first races I've done for a while in any of these kind of competitive things, and I want to get better at sim racing. As you can tell at the moment, you know, here we are coming out of the pits at the same time as somebody else and ghosting into each other, causing a bit of a collision, and the guy in front, nervous, maybe the car, I don't know, braking into Eau Rouge. Now, we'll come back to that in a bit. I just want to carry on talking about the story. I want to get better, and at the moment I'm in a very low bracket in Gran Turismo, slight aside. I'm in a D ranking, even though I've got the S sportsmanship, because obviously that's pretty easy. The D ranking is mainly because I haven't been playing a lot. You get a lot more ranking in Gran Turismo Sport the more regular you play and the better you are at it. So I think I hit an A, but mostly I sort of peaked at a B, and I just want to get a lot better. So I figure going into the Nations Cup and doing this is going to be a way to do it. I'm going to get better as we go on, and it's going to be fine. Now, here we are in the new format, which includes a 10-minute qualifying round. And as you can see, I really struggled to find a clean lap without anybody else going there. Partly because I was faster than other people, partly because there were a lot of people in the way. And at some points, I just needed to just, like, I mean, there was nothing I could do there, for example. And then they got our lovely blue Lamborghini there just getting in the way again. But it was just so difficult that I had to actually force myself through into overtakes. Like, I had to be really aggressive. And I'm not good at any of this, really. You know, I'm competent. But this was the first race where I felt maybe I am better than a lot of people. There are some things that I know about it which a lot of other people don't. And we'll get to that when we get to the race, as we're completing this qualifying lap here, where you see we've just had people braking in random places and random corners in front of us. I didn't trust that this guy wasn't going to brake right in front of me there, so I backed off. And again, just looking at what was going on, I believe, I can't remember if I did not get a penalty here, but because I slowed enough I didn't get one. But this is a very high time lap, you know, and you can see this guy just bails on the lapping tile and just goes straight back into the pits. So we're like a 2-minute 40 something there, and here we are again at another lap, just coming up to this, and again somebody in the way who had messed up the entry to the previous corner, and his lap was compromised, mine wasn't. I just had to bully my way through, and I felt a little bit bad about it, but I had to get a time on the board at least, and that was the best time I got, a 2-minute 35.4, because of how much traffic there was. It was utterly hard. So anyway, here we are at the race, and you can see what happened. I'm going to play you the entirety of the first lap because it's utterly maddening. But, you know, this is how these kind of things go, right? They're always going to be a little bit maddening. So the FIA series, if you don't know, it scores points in a strange way. You get points for where you finish in the race, which is ascribed to, I think, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in various different bits, or 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, something like that. But you also get points as to how well you do compared to the quality of everybody else around you. Here we are in the qualifying, looking at the grid, and there we are in our Aston Martin in 5th in the R Motorsport livery. I'm on a bit of an Aston Martin kick at the moment, which is why I've gone into this. So we're going to start the race, and immediately I'm going to bin it. Completely my own fault. Overgassed it. Absolutely furious. Should really have rage quit. Did not rage quit. Carried on. Because, you know, I figure I qualified 5th. I've probably got the pace to get sort of somewhere back up there. So okay. Concentration head on. Let's get into this. So I'm not the fastest car around here. I'm certainly not the fastest driver around here, but I've certainly got the grunt, and I know the lines well enough and know what I can do in the corners. For example, I know that you just need to lift off when you come into Eau Rouge and over the crest into Radion, and you can put the gas back on. yet everybody else seems to brake and cause a lot of problems. And as you can see, the guy did get a penalty before he zoomed off into the distance. It was our lovely blue Lamborghini guy again, who obviously didn't have the control and tapped me out and spun me out. He wasn't in control of that. But why would you brake in Eau Rouge, a corner that is flat, and you just let off? You don't brake, you let off. It is absolutely maddening. And that means that we are right here, 19th out of 19, because somebody dropped before the race even begun, plumb last. So again, do we rage quit, or do we carry on? You know what, we carry on. And this is one of the things that's really going to show, like, you see a lot of things on YouTube about the quality of the higher end of the rating of people, but this is the lower end. This is in the FIA race as well. This isn't a daily race, this is the FIA race, and you can just see it's so difficult trying to get through without being collected by something or somebody. We haven't got a penalty yet, which is a miracle so far, and have to race really, really well. And sometimes there are people that will race you really, really well. Here is a good example that we're about to see coming up, where we end up going free ride, coming down towards, I believe it's Bruxelles or Rivage, whichever you'd like to call it, before we get into Pouon. I say you just need to bully yourself through, and already, as you can see, we've already made up 3 spaces purely from other people not having a good time, which is always going to happen. You're always going to get some people that are going to have a bit of an accident. Now, these 2 in front of me have obviously got penalties as well, so I kind of want to avoid any kind of contact with them. I mean, there's 2 1-second penalties there, I do believe, but here we are again, and a little tap, and the Bugatti there brakes really, really hard, so I tap him, but I was already off the accelerator at the time, so, you know, I wasn't deliberately ramming him, didn't get a penalty. At least that's how I assume that went. And obviously there's a lot of different controller methods in this. I think of quite a few people in this on controller. I'm not on a great steering wheel, really. I'm on an entry level. I'm on the Logitech G29, so nothing really to write home about. But here we are anyway, side by side, just about to head into La Source, expecting a little punt. I got it, but I wasn't quick enough to react to get past, and maybe that was for the best given what happened on the last lap going into Eau Rouge and to Radion as well. There's just a lot of contact waiting to happen, and again, absolutely paranoid here that I was about to be braked, and I was. Didn't get a penalty because I didn't send him that much out of control, and I was off the gas. Why are people braking at Eau Rouge? Was able to get past these guys pretty quickly anyway. Now they got the penalties, I could just simply go through them, and that was fine. Why would you brake into so if you don't know, when you come up, you hug the rule on the right, swing to the left, and as you go up, you let off a little bit if you need to. You don't brake because you lose all your momentum. You're going up the hill. There goes another person. We're now up to 13th. But you let off a little bit just so you can keep the car under control and not get too much over, and then you just plough it back through as you go over into Radion and up into the Kemmel Straight. Why people are braking, I don't know, because if you're interested in these kind of games, surely you know Eau Rouge is flat. Maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic there. Either way, we're back with our blue Lamborghini man that caused us all of these problems in the first place, and he gave us a couple of little love taps because he didn't want me getting past. Again, he had to brake here. I let off and just about managed to get away, coming out of the super fast Blanchimont in order to get there, really. Sorry, I called the other corner the double left Pouon, and it wasn't Pouon at all. I was far too far away. I was in Campus and Paul Friere. So here we are again, just a little bit further along. We're up into 12th now, and this guy, I've actually got a lot of time for this guy. He gave us a little bit of a good race, and we were quite respectful of each other's limits. So it was just a little tiny, a brush I would say, just coming up here, just a little tap. He had nowhere to go. I was as far as I could be. But we gave each other the space, and we knew now is not the time. This is a long race, and it's at this point of the race that I've begun to realise, because we were on 5 times fuel consumption and 7 times tyre consumption. Tyre consumption I knew I could manage, maybe have to have a stop, but I thought I could do fuel throughout the entire race. However, if you can see down on my fuel gauge, which is almost bottom left, I'm almost nearly half, and we're only at lap 3. So a little bit of tactics would need to be deployed here for this race. A really interesting mix of cars here as well. There's a lot of people with Bugattis. This was a Group 4 race, so this is a Group 4 Aston Martin. And we managed to get a good enough run there before we hit the straight, which was nice. So here we are, end of the next lap, lap 4. I decided to stay out despite the fact, as you can see, we've not got a lot of fuel left. We're coming to a quarter of a tank left. Made it up to 9th because other people have pitted. So we've gone up the order. This is great, having been 19th after the second corner. But now is the time that I needed to do some saving. As you can see, I put myself onto fuel mix free just to conserve a little bit. But we were still out racing people. Guy in the Azteca there, got him on the Camel Straight. Nice clean move, all very lovely. Up into 7th, only 2 places down on lap 5. Things getting a little bit tricky now. As you can see, I don't have a lot of fuel left. I've got enough possibly for another lap at this point, but the tyres are beginning to go as well. It's getting a little bit harder to keep the grip as I'm going through a lot of those corners. But there we go, another position that I just made up there, and we're into 6th place until we get around La Source here, and then the guy comes out of the pits and we're into 7th. But as you can see, fuel time, end of lap 6. Made quite a good long stint out of that, probably a lot longer than other people were. We started on the hard tyre, I believe. So I decided, after much deliberation, to go onto the medium tyre, only because I knew it was going to last. I didn't want to do really, really fast laps and then just scrub all of my grip on the last 2 laps. And we'll get to some people who very obviously had done that very shortly. I love the livery of the Motorsport Aston. I like all of the Aston liveries that we've had from the GT series this year, be it British GT, Blancpain, even some of the DTM ones, and even the one that I've seen recently that Nicky Thiem is going to be having, even the Sky one that Martin Brundle and Alex Brundle drove. So here we are, out of the pits for our pit stop, out in 11th place. So we haven't dropped masses, we've dropped 3 or 4 places on this one. So ground has been made up already. We're about to make another place up here. As you can see, a lot of people running very wide at Blanchimont as you come through, and it's one of the lines that you can't really take flat, but it's something that I've learned from the Lewis Hamilton laps. Not on this circuit because he doesn't do it, but in a lot of cars he doesn't go up the gear if he doesn't need to, so he's in 5th gear and he's still getting a lot of pace out of that. And I found going up into 6th gear on Blanchimont was too much, and I was having to scrub speed. Whereas if I stayed in 5th, I could just sort of lift a little bit if I needed to and just push my way through it. But anyway, here we are up at 7th, and we're zooming, smash cutting now to the Kemmel Straight on the final lap. And the reason being is because here is that magic 5th place, and as you can see, everybody's tyres are going, even mine, and I couldn't really get out of the way of that guy there because he'd slowed down too much. And my tyres are not that great either. A little bit of slalom dodging. But we can certainly get this guy at some point. The 5th place guy there also struggling, but the Renault powers through. The Porsche just taps me a little bit and puts me off it, and I don't want to cause an accident, and I most definitely don't want to get a penalty. The Porsche there pushes me wide a little bit. I decide to let off the gas so I don't spin it out and stay within some kind of thing. I didn't help, but in fact I nearly got a bunny hop there with the cone. And as you see there, almost lost it. I had to back out a little bit. So that was through Pouan, and now we are into Fagnes and coming up into Campus. This is the last Campus and Paul Ferrer, which is these two here. As you can see, the tyres aren't there and people are pushing too hard, and that's what I was thinking. Maybe I could pressure them. Maybe they'd make a mistake when I get there. Unfortunately, it looks like the guy in 5th place. I mean, as you come down the straight, the huge straight right now, you just can't really get anywhere near it. And as you can see, it's what I was saying about the 5th gear. Just lift a little, power back on, so you stay within the track limits. And we didn't go over any of the track limits during the race. Maybe was hoping a little bit there that maybe he would spin it out there, but we didn't cross the line in time for us to get the full race. And there we are. We finished and came back from 6th, which was pretty crazy, given that we were at the end of the, or not even the end of the first lap, before like corner 3 on the first lap, we were all the way down in last and 19th. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you want more, and see you next time.